Dr. Lisa Morgan stared at the computer screen with tired eyes. She had been working for 18 hours straight in the underground lab in Nevada. The numbers on her screen showed something that should not be possible. Her hands shook as she checked the data one more time. "Kevin, come look at this," she called to her research partner. Across the room, Dr. Kevin Chun rolled his chair over to her desk. His coffee mug was empty, and his shirt was wrinkled from the long night of work. "What did you find?" Lisa pointed at the screen. "The magnetic field is holding. The antimatter particles are staying contained for over 6 hours now. That's never happened before." Kevin's eyes went wide. For 3 years, they had been trying to contain antimatter long enough to use it as fuel. Every other attempt had failed within minutes. The tiny particles would escape and destroy whatever they touched. But now, somehow, it was working. "Are you sure the sensors are working right?" Kevin asked. Lisa nodded. "I checked them 5 times. The containment field is stable." "We did it, Kevin. We actually did it." In the hallway outside the lab, Captain, Jake Sullivan was drinking his morning coffee. He was the military man assigned to watch over the antimatter project. Most days, he just sat around waiting for the scientists to blow something up. Today felt different, though. He could hear excited voices coming from the lab. Jake knocked on the door and walked in. "Everything okay in here?" "You two sound pretty worked up." "More than okay," Lisa said, her voice filled with excitement. "We've contained antimatter for 6 hours. That's longer than anyone has ever done it." Jake set down his coffee cup. He did not understand all the science, but he knew. This was important. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means we might be able to build engines that use antimatter as fuel," Kevin explained. "Ships that could travel faster than anything we've ever made." Jake felt his heart beat faster. For decades, humans had been stuck using fusion engines. That barely got them to Mars in reasonable time. Meanwhile, alien races zipped around the galaxy with technology that made human ships look like toys. "How much faster?" Jake asked. Lisa smiled. "If we can build a working engine, we could reach the outer planets in days instead of months. Maybe even travel to other star systems." Jake picked up his phone and called Director Paul Williams. The director was probably still asleep, but this could not wait. "Paul, you need to get down here right now," Jake said when the director answered. "Lisa and Kevin have done something amazing." 30 minutes later, Director Williams rushed into the lab. He was still wearing his pajamas under his coat. His gray hair was messy, and his glasses were crooked. "Show me," he said. Lisa pulled up the containment data on the big screen. The magnetic field readings were steady and strong. The antimatter particles glowed like tiny stars inside the containment chamber. "My God," Williams whispered. "How long has it been contained?" "Almost 7 hours now," Lisa said. "And it's still holding." Williams sat down heavily in a chair. He knew what this meant for humanity. For too long, alien races had looked down on humans as primitive. They called human technology cute and simple. The Zelkari Empire had even refused to let humans join their trade networks because their ships were too slow. "Can you build an engine?" Williams asked. "We think so," Kevin said. "But we'll need more resources, better equipment, and we'll need to test it." "You'll have whatever you need," Williams said. "Money is no object. This could change everything for our species." Over the next few weeks, the team worked day and night. They built a small test engine using the antimatter containment technology. The engine was no bigger than a car, but the power it could produce was incredible. The first test was scheduled for a Tuesday morning. Jake would pilot the test ship, a small craft built just for this experiment. Scientists from around the world had come to watch. Even some alien observers were there, though they looked bored and uninterested. Humans trying to play with real technology, one of the Zelkari observers said to his companion. This should be amusing. Lisa ignored the alien's comment. She was too focused on the test to care about their opinions. She checked the antimatter containment one last time. Everything looked perfect. Are you ready, Jake? She asked over the radio. Jake sat in the pilot's seat of the test ship. His hands were steady on the controls, but his heart was racing. Ready as I'll ever be. Beginning engine startup, Lisa announced. The antimatter engine came to life with a soft hum. The power readings on the control panel climbed higher and higher. Soon, they were showing numbers that no human engine had ever reached. Power output is incredible, Kevin said, watching his instruments. This is 10 times more powerful than our best fusion engines. The alien observers stopped talking and started paying attention. Their own instruments were picking up the energy. Readings from the human ship. That cannot be right, one of them said. Their technology is too primitive. Jake felt the ship respond to his controls like nothing he had ever flown. The antimatter engine gave him power he had only dreamed of. When he pushed the throttle forward, the ship accelerated so fast that he was pressed back into his seat. This is unbelievable, Jake said over the radio. The response time is instant. The power is smooth and constant. Lisa and Kevin watched from the control room as Jake put the ship through its paces. Every test exceeded their expectations. The antimatter engine performed better than their best computer models had predicted. The alien observers were no longer looking bored. They were frantically checking their instruments and talking in excited whispers. How are they generating that much power? One of them asked. It has to be a mistake, another replied. No young species has ever mastered antimatter technology. But it was no mistake. After 3 hours of testing, the engine was still running perfectly. The antimatter fuel had barely been used. At this rate, the ship could run for months on a single fuel load. Jake brought the ship back to the landing pad. When he climbed out, he was grinning from ear to ear. That was the best flight of my life, he said. This engine is going to change everything. The alien observers gathered around Director Williams. They no longer looked dismissive. Instead, they looked worried. Director Williams, the lead Zelkari said, we would like to discuss your antimatter research. Perhaps our species could work together on this technology. Williams smiled. For the first time in his career, aliens were asking humans for help instead of the other way around. We'll consider it, he said. But first, we have some ships to build. As the sun set over the Nevada desert, Lisa stood outside the lab and looked up at the stars. Soon, human ships would be traveling between those stars faster than anyone had thought possible. The galaxy was about to discover that humanity was no longer the primitive species they had dismissed. The age of human antimatter technology had begun. Captain Jake Sullivan stood on the bridge of the USS Liberty, humanity's first antimatter-powered starship. 6 months had passed since the successful test in Nevada. Now, he was about to take the Liberty on its maiden voyage to the edge of the solar system. All systems ready, Captain, said Commander Amy Foster from the engine room. She was the best engineer Earth had, and she knew the antimatter drive better than anyone. Navigation is set for the outer system, reported Lieutenant Brad Cooper from his station. Course plotted for the asteroid belt and beyond. Jake looked out at the stars through the bridge windows. In a few hours, they would be farther from Earth than any human had ever traveled. The old fusion ships would have taken months to make this journey. Today, they would do it before lunch. Ambassador Rodriguez, are you ready for our little demonstration? Jake asked. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez sat in the observer's chair, her diplomatic uniform crisp and clean. She had been chosen to represent Earth if they met any alien ships during their test flight. Ready, Captain, she said. "Though I hope we don't run into any trouble out there." Jake smiled. "Trouble is exactly what we're looking for. It's time." The galaxy saw what humans can really do. He turned to his crew. "All hands, prepare for antimatter drive engagement. Amy, bring us to half power." In the engine room, Amy Foster watched her instruments carefully. The antimatter containment field was perfect. The fuel mixture was exact. Everything was ready. "Antimatter drive engaged," she announced. "We have ignition." The Liberty surged forward with incredible speed. The stars outside began to blur as the ship accelerated past anything humans had ever achieved. Jake felt the power of the antimatter engine in every part of the ship. "Speed is increasing rapidly," Rad reported. "We're already faster than any human ship has ever gone." Within 2 hours, they had reached the asteroid belt. The journey that used to take weeks was now measured in hours. Jake was amazed by what they had accomplished. "Amy, how's the engine holding up?" he asked. "Perfect, Captain," came the reply. "Fuel consumption is minimal. We could keep this up for months." As they passed through the asteroid belt, Rad's instruments picked up something unexpected. "Captain, I'm detecting ships ahead," he said. "They're not human." Jake's pulse quickened. "How many?" "6 ships, sir. They're in formation. Looks like a patrol." Eleni Rodriguez leaned forward in her chair. "Can you identify them?" "Yes, ma'am. They're Zelkari Empire vessels. Heavy cruisers by the look of them." Jake knew about the Zelkari. They were one of the most powerful alien races in the galaxy. Their ships were fast and well armed. They also had a habit of treating humans like children. "Take us to meet them, Brad, but keep our speed down. Let's not scare them right away." The Liberty approached the Zelkari patrol at a reasonable pace. Jake wanted to seem peaceful, but he was ready for anything. "Incoming transmission," Brad announced. "Put it on screen." The main viewer flickered to life, showing a tall, blue-skinned alien in a military uniform. His eyes were cold, and his expression was bored. "Human vessel, this is High Admiral Vextar of the Zelkari Empire. You are traveling in restricted space. Turn around and return to your home system immediately." Jake stood up and faced the screen. "High Admiral, this is Captain Jake Sullivan of the Earth vessel USS Liberty. We're on a peaceful mission to test our new propulsion system." "We mean no harm." Vextar laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the bridge. "New propulsion system? Humans barely managed to leave their own planet. What could you possibly have developed that would interest us? Perhaps you'd like to see for yourself." Jake said calmly. The alien's expression changed slightly. "I detect arrogance in your tone, human. That is not wise when speaking to the Zelkari Empire." "No arrogance, sir. Just confidence in our technology." Vextar's eyes narrowed. "Very well. I will inspect your primitive ship. Prepare to be boarded." Jake looked at Elena, who shook her head slightly. They had hoped to avoid direct contact, but it seemed unavoidable now. "I'm sorry, High Admiral, but we cannot allow boarding at this time. This is a test flight, and we have safety protocols to follow." The alien's face turned darker blue, a sign of anger in his species. "You refuse a direct order from the Zelkari. Empire, this is unacceptable." "It's not a refusal, sir. It's a polite decline. We're in international space, and we have the right to peaceful passage." Vextar turned to someone off-screen and spoke rapidly in his own language. When he looked back at Jake, his expression was hostile. "Human, you will submit to inspection or face the consequences. My ships are faster and more powerful than anything your species has ever built." Jake smiled. "That may have been true yesterday, Admiral, but today is a new day." He turned to Amy in the engine room. "Amy, I think it's time for our new friends." to see what we can do. Bring us to full power. Full power, Captain. Here we go. The Liberty's antimatter drive roared to life at maximum output. The ship shot forward so fast that the Zelkari admiral was thrown back in his chair. On the Liberty's bridge, the crew felt the incredible acceleration push them into their seats. Speed is incredible, Brad shouted over the engine noise. We're moving faster than their sensors can track. The Zelkari ships tried to follow, but they were left behind in seconds. Their most advanced vessels looked like they were standing, still compared to the Liberty. Admiral Vextar is trying to contact us, Brad reported. He sounds very upset. Put him through, Jake said. The alien's face appeared on screen again. This time, he looked shocked and confused. What kind of drive are you using? Vextar demanded. Nothing should be able to move that fast. Jake decided to have a little fun. Oh, this? This is just our standard antimatter drive. Nothing special. Antimatter? The alien's voice went quiet. That's impossible. Antimatter containment is beyond your technological level. Is it? Jake asked. Amy, let's show them our power output. Amy ran the antimatter drive through a series of tests. The energy readings were so high that the Zelkari ship's sensors couldn't measure them accurately. Those readings cannot be correct, Vextar said, but his voice was uncertain now. Your instruments must be malfunctioning. Would you like us to demonstrate? Jake asked. We could race to the next system and back. Give you a chance to see what real speed looks like. The Zelkari admiral was quiet for a long moment. Jake could see him talking to his crew, their faces filled with concern. Human Captain, Vextar said finally, where did you acquire this technology? We built it ourselves, Jake replied. Turns out humans are pretty good at solving problems when we put our minds to it. That is unexpected, the alien admitted. Elena. Rodriguez stood up and addressed the screen. Admiral, I am Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, representing Earth's government. We hope this demonstration shows that humanity is ready to be treated as an equal partner in galactic affairs. Vextar looked at her with new respect. Ambassador, I must report this encounter to my superiors. Your species has developed technology that changes many things. We understand, Elena said. We hope this leads to better relations between our peoples. The Zelkari admiral nodded slowly. Perhaps it will, but I warn you, human captain, not. All races in the galaxy will be pleased by your advancement. Some prefer to keep young species in their place. Jake felt a chill at the alien's words. Are you threatening us, Admiral? No, Captain. I am warning you. What you have accomplished today will spread throughout the galaxy quickly. Be prepared for the consequences. The communication ended, leaving the Liberty's crew in thoughtful silence. Well, Elena said after a moment, that went better than expected. Did it? Jake asked. The way he talked, it sounds like we just painted a target on our backs. Amy's voice came over the intercom from the engine room. Captain, I'm detecting multiple ships jumping into the system. Long-range sensors show at least 20 vessels approaching our position. Jake looked at the tactical display. The new ships were from different alien races, all moving toward the Liberty's position. It seems word travels fast in space, he said. Brad, set course for Earth. Best speed. Yes, sir. Course laid in. Amy, give us everything the antimatter drive has got. The Liberty turned toward home and accelerated to speeds that defied belief. The pursuing alien ships fell behind so quickly that they disappeared from sensors within minutes dot as Earth grew larger on the view screen. Jake realized their lives had just changed forever. Humanity was no longer the weak, primitive species that aliens could ignore. They had real power now, and the galaxy was going to have to deal with it. Amy, How much fuel did we use? He asked. Less than 5%, Captain. We could make this trip 20 more times on what we have left. Jake smiled. The aliens thought they had seen something impressive today. They had no idea what was coming next. The age of human power in the galaxy had begun. Admiral Karen Blake stood in the Earth Defense Command Center, watching dozens of screens showing activity across the galaxy. It had been 3 weeks since the Liberty's encounter with the Zelkari patrol. Since then, the galaxy had gone crazy. "Ma'am, we're getting reports from our listening posts," said Lieutenant Commander Tony Harris. "The alien communication networks are buzzing with talk about our antimatter technology." Karen nodded grimly. "What are they saying?" "It's not good, Admiral. The major powers are calling emergency sessions. They're scared." Dr. Lisa Morgan entered the command center, looking tired but determined. She had been working non-stop to build more antimatter engines since the Liberty's successful test. "Karen, we need to talk," Lisa said. "The situation is getting worse." "Admiral." Blake turned from the screens. "What have you heard?" "My contacts in the scientific community are picking up chatter from alien researchers. They're demanding to know how we achieved antimatter containment. Some are calling it impossible." "Good," said General Rick Stone, walking up to join them. "Let them wonder. Maybe they'll think twice before trying to push us around." Karen wasn't so sure. "Rick, scared aliens might be more dangerous than confident ones. What's the status of our new ship construction?" "We have 12 antimatter vessels under construction," Lisa reported. "But they won't be ready for at least 2 months." "That might not be fast enough," Karen said. "Our intelligence reports suggest the major powers are planning something big." As if summoned by her words, Lieutenant Commander Harris approached with a worried expression. "Admiral, we're receiving a formal communication from the Galactic Council. It's addressed to Earth's government." Karen took the message tablet and read it quickly. Her face grew dark as she read. "What does it say?" Rick asked. "They're demanding that we share our antimatter technology with the galaxy. They claim it's too dangerous for one species to control alone." Lisa laughed bitterly. "Too dangerous? They've been keeping us out of their technology exchanges for decades. Now they want to share? It gets worse." Karen continued reading. "They're giving us 30 days to comply. If we don't, they'll implement economic sanctions and consider military action." General Stone's face turned red with anger. "Military action? Are they threatening to attack Earth?" "That's exactly what they're doing," Karen said. "The message is signed by representatives from the Zelkari Empire, the Thraxi Confederation, and the Mentari Republic, the 3 biggest powers in the galaxy." Dr. Morgan sat down heavily in a chair. "They're forming an alliance against us." "That's never happened before." "It's happening now," Karen said. "The question is, what do we do about it?" Captain Jake Sullivan's voice came over the intercom. "Admiral Blake, the Liberty is requesting permission to dock. We've completed our reconnaissance mission." "Granted, Captain. Report to the briefing room immediately." 20 minutes later, Jake entered the briefing room with Commander Amy Foster and Lieutenant Brad Cooper. They all looked grim. "What did you find out there?" Karen asked. "It's bad." "Admiral," Jake said, "we detected massive fleet movements from all 3 major powers. They're gathering ships near the edge of our solar system." "How many ships?" General Stone asked. "At least 500 from the Zelkari Empire. The Thraxi have around 300. The Mentari Republic sent about 400 more." Amy Foster added, "Their ships are positioning themselves at jump points around our system. They're preparing for something big." Karen felt her stomach drop. Over 1,000 ships. That's the largest fleet ever assembled in this part of the galaxy. "There's more," Jake continued. "We intercepted some of their communications. They're not just planning to blockade us. They're preparing for a full invasion if we don't surrender." Our technology. Lisa Morgan stood up quickly. How long do we have? Based on their movements, maybe 2 weeks before they're in position. Brad reported. General Stone slammed his fist on the table. 2 weeks? We only have one operational antimatter ship. Actually, we have more than that, Lisa said with a slight smile. I've been working around the clock with the construction teams. We can have 6 ships ready in 1 week. Karen looked hopeful. 6 ships against over 1,000? That's still impossible odds, is it? Amy Foster asked. Admiral, you didn't see what the Liberty could do out there. We outran their entire patrol fleet, like they were standing still. Jake nodded. Amy's right. 1 Liberty could probably handle 50 of their ships. 6 Liberty-class vessels might be enough. Might be isn't good enough, Karen said. We need to be certain. Lisa's eyes lit up. I have an idea. What if we don't fight them at all? Everyone looked at her with confusion. Explain, Karen said. What? If we demonstrate our technology so clearly that they realize fighting us is pointless? Show them that we have power beyond their ability to counter? General Stone looked skeptical. You want to scare them off? Exactly. If we can show them that attacking us would be suicide, they might back down. Karen thought about it. That's risky. If the demonstration fails, we've revealed our capabilities and given them time to prepare. But if it works, Jake said, we avoid a war that could destroy both sides. Over the next week, Earth shipyards worked at maximum capacity. The 6 new antimatter vessels were completed in record time. Each one was equipped with the most advanced engines and weapons that human technology could produce. The USS Liberty was joined by the USS Freedom, USS Independence, USS Courage, USS Defiance, and USS Vengeance. Together, they formed humanity's first antimatter fleet. Captain Jake Sullivan was promoted to fleet captain and given command of the entire squadron. Each ship was crewed by Earth's best officers and engineers. Fleet Captain Sullivan, Admiral Blake said during the final briefing, your mission is to meet the alien fleet and demonstrate our capabilities. Avoid fighting if possible, but be prepared to defend Earth if necessary. Understood, Admiral? Jake replied. We'll make them see that humanity is not the same species they've been pushing around. As the 6 antimatter ships prepared to depart, Dr. Lisa Morgan made final checks on their engines. Each ship carried enough antimatter fuel to run for months at maximum power. Amy, she said to Commander Foster, remember what we learned from the Liberty's first flight. These engines can do things that physics says should be impossible. Use that to your advantage. Amy nodded. Don't worry, Doctor. We'll show them what human engineering can accomplish. The 6 ships launched from Earth, orbit and accelerated toward the edge of the solar system. Their antimatter drives pushed them to speeds that no alien vessel could match. Within hours, they detected the massive alien fleet waiting for them. Over 1,200 ships from 3 different species, all armed and ready for battle. Fleet. Captain, reported the communications officer, we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet commander. It's High Admiral Vexstar. Jake smiled. Our old friend from the Zelkari Empire. Put him through. The alien appeared on screen, looking more serious than before. Fleet Captain Sullivan, I am surprised to see you again. You are greatly outnumbered. Are we? Jake asked. I count 6 human ships and 1,200 alien vessels. Seems like fair odds to me. Vexstar's expression showed confusion. Fair odds? Captain, you cannot be serious. Oh, I'm very serious, Admiral. Would you like to see what 6 antimatter ships can do? Behind Jake, the crews of all 6 ships prepared for the demonstration that would change the galaxy forever. They were about to show the universe that humanity was no longer a species to be underestimated. The real test of human power was about to begin. Fleet Captain Jake Sullivan looked out at the massive alien armada spread across space before him. 1,200 ships from 3 of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations, all pointed at his small fleet of 6 human vessels. "Sir," reported Lieutenant Brad Cooper from the communication station, "High Admiral Vextar is demanding our immediate surrender. He says we have 1 hour to power down our weapons and prepare to be boarded." Jake turned to Commander Amy Foster, who was monitoring the antimatter engines from the Liberty's bridge. "Amy, how are our power levels?" "All 6 ships are running at optimal efficiency," she replied. "Antimatter containment is perfect across the fleet. We have enough power to run at maximum output for weeks." Captain Ryan Murphy's voice came over the fleet communication system from the USS Defiance. "Jake, their targeting systems are locking onto our ships. They're getting ready to fire." "Let them target us," Jake said calmly. "Nicole, what's the status of our shield systems?" Captain Nicole Davis answered from the USS Vengeance. "All ships have antimatter-powered shields at full strength. We're ready for whatever they throw at us." Jake opened a channel to all 6 ships. "Fleet commanders, this is what we've been training for. We're not here to start a war, but we're going to finish one. Show them what human technology can do." High Admiral Vextar appeared on the main screen again. His blue skin was darker now, showing his anger. "Captain Sullivan, you have 5 minutes to surrender. After that, my fleet will open fire." "Admiral," Jake said politely, "I think you're making a mistake. You're about to attack ships that are far more advanced than anything your species has ever built." "Impossible," Vextar replied. "Your species is barely out of its home system. You cannot have technology superior to the combined might of 3 galactic powers." "Would you like me to prove it?" Jake asked. The alien admiral's eyes narrowed. "You have 2 minutes." Jake smiled. "I only need 1. He turned to his crew. "Amy, take us to full power. All ships, prepare for speed demonstration." The 6 human ships suddenly blazed with energy. Their antimatter drives produced power readings that made the alien sensors scream warnings. The energy output was so high that several alien ships had to adjust their instruments. "Impossible," Vextar whispered, staring at his own readings. "No ship can generate that much power." "This is just the beginning," Jake said. "All ships execute pattern Alpha." The 6 human vessels suddenly shot forward with incredible speed. They moved so fast that the alien targeting systems couldn't track them. Within seconds, the human ships had circled the entire alien fleet twice. "How are they moving so fast?" came panicked voices from the alien command channels. The USS Freedom, commanded by Captain Linda Mitchell, performed a series of impossible maneuvers. She flew between the massive alien battleships, missing them by mere meters while traveling at speeds that should have been deadly. "Their inertial dampeners should be failing," Admiral Vextar said, his voice filled with confusion. "No crew can survive those acceleration forces." "Our crews are doing just fine," Jake replied. "Would you like to see what else we can do?" The USS Independence, under Captain Mark Johnson, demonstrated the agility of human antimatter technology. The ship spun and twisted through space in patterns that defied physics, showing perfect control at impossible speeds. "This is getting their attention," Captain Johnson reported. "Half their fleet is trying to get targeting locks on us. The other half is just staring." Jake opened a channel to the alien fleet. "Admiral Vextar, are you ready for the next demonstration?" The alien admiral's voice was quiet now. "What are you?" "We're humans," Jake said simply. "And we're not the primitive species you thought we were." Suddenly, the alien fleet opened fire. Thousands of energy weapons lit up space as the combined alien armada unleashed everything they had at the 6 human ships. "Shields up," Jake commanded. The antimatter-powered shields around each human ship blazed to life. The alien weapons struck the shields with tremendous force, but the defensive systems held easily. The energy from the alien attack was absorbed and dispersed harmlessly. Shields holding at 98%, Amy reported. The antimatter reactors are barely working to maintain them. Jake was amazed. The most powerful fleet in the galaxy had just fired everything they had, and it hadn't even vented the human shields. Admiral Vexstar, Jake said calmly. Was that your best shot? The alien admiral was staring at his instruments in shock. Your shields ... They absorbed our entire fleet's firepower. How is that possible? Antimatter technology, Jake explained. The same energy that powers our engines protects our ships. Would you like us to return fire? No, Vexstar said quickly. There is no need for more violence. But Jake wasn't done with the demonstration. Ryan, your turn. Captain Ryan Murphy in the USS Defiance moved forward from the human formation. His ship approached the center of the alien fleet, moving slowly and deliberately. All alien ships. This is Captain Murphy of the USS Defiance. I'm going to show you what one human ship can do. The Defiance positioned itself in the exact center of the alien formation. 1,200 enemy ships surrounded it, their weapons trained on the lone human vessel. Fire antimatter pulse, Ryan commanded. The USS Defiance released a controlled burst of antimatter energy. The pulse spread outward in all directions, washing over every alien ship in the fleet. The energy was carefully controlled to disable systems without destroying the ships. Within seconds, every alien vessel in the fleet was dead in space. Their engines were offline, their weapons were disabled, and their shields were down. The single human ship had neutralized the entire alien armada without firing a single destructive shot. Impossible, Vexstar whispered. One ship disabled our entire fleet. Not disabled, Jake corrected. Just temporarily powered down. Your systems will restart in about an hour. We wanted to show you our capabilities, not destroy you. The alien admiral was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was filled with respect and fear. Captain Sullivan, I have never seen technology like this. How did your species develop such advanced capabilities? We worked hard, Jake said. We studied, we experimented, and we never gave up. That's what humans do when we're challenged. I must report this to my superiors, Vexstar said. This changes everything. Yes, it does, Jake agreed. The galaxy is going to have to accept that humanity is no longer a minor species. We have real power now, and we're going to use it to protect ourselves and our allies. Captain Nicole Davis's voice came over the fleet channel. Jake, we're detecting more ships jumping into the system. Looks like reinforcements from other alien races. Jake looked at the tactical display. Dozens of new ships were arriving, drawn by reports of the battle. Ships from races that had never worked together before were coming to see what had happened. Let them come, Jake said. The more witnesses, the better. We want the entire galaxy to know that humanity is a force to be respected. The 6 human ships regrouped in formation, their antimatter drives humming with power. Around them, the disabled alien fleet drifted helplessly in space, a testament to the incredible advancement of human technology. Admiral Vexstar, Jake said, I suggest you contact your government. Tell them that humanity is ready to negotiate as equals. We're not interested in conquest, but we won't be pushed around anymore. I will deliver your message, the alien admiral replied. But I warn you, Captain, not all species will accept this new reality peacefully. Then they'll learn the hard way, Jake said. Just like you did, as the alien fleet slowly began to restart their systems. News of the demonstration spread across the galaxy at light speed. The age of human dominance had begun, and the universe would never be the same. The 6 antimatter ships turned toward Earth, their mission complete. Behind them, they left a galaxy that would have to completely rethink humanity's place in the cosmic order. The demonstration was over. The real work of building a new galactic order was just beginning. 6 months after the demonstration at the edge of the solar system, Earth looked very different. Ships,